Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So another day and another Ubisoft related video. I mean, it's not too surprising given the never-ending stream of bad news affecting this company, and today is no different. So we're going to be looking at the latest developments involving Ubisoft, including the closure of some of their studios, and also the very poor attempts that Ubisoft is making to try to hide Yasuke in the background of their promotional materials, which is only serving to piss off gamers even more. In particular, really piss off Japanese gamers who have had enough of the virtue signaling at Ubisoft. So let's begin with the first part of the news here. So you can see the headline: Ubisoft closes Star Wars Outlaws studio, lays off 185 employees as company's financial troubles deepen ahead of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yep. Yesterday we talked about BioWare having some layoffs, and I guess Ubisoft is joining the club, which is not too surprising. Again, when you have fail after fail after fail and your company is hemorrhaging money, something has to give at this point. But let's see some of the details of this latest restructuring. So Ubisoft has closed their Ubisoft Leamington studio, which is based in the UK, and they were known for working on games such as Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I mean, need I say more? Those were all big flops and very expensive ones at that. But this closure of the Leamington studio is just a part of a larger restructuring plan that will affect other Ubisoft offices as well, including those in Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Newcastle upon Tyne. These names, I'm sure I'm butchering them, but anyways, this is a part of a much larger restructuring, which again is not surprising. They have to trim the fat over at Ubisoft. I believe their annual payroll for their employees is something close to $1 billion. And right now, based on the market value of Ubisoft, that's almost the same price. The market value of Ubisoft is barely over $1 billion, and yet their payroll for their employees is almost that high. Something has to give, and here's an example that 185 employees will be losing their jobs as they do this quote-unquote restructuring to try to save this company from going under. However, we know the elephant in the room here. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is the Hail Mary attempt by Ubisoft to save their company, and yeah, all eyes are on them, and things just aren't looking very good, including some of the previews of this game. You have this image here, this video that's been going around. As you can see, the gameplay is spectacular. I'm glad they focused so much on DEI and not actually making the game look good. Maybe the NPCs here are just afraid of fighting back because they might be labeled racist. I don't know. But one thing's for sure, Yasuke remains a very controversial aspect of this game. And as you can see, I agree with the headline here from Francesco. I think they're doing everything in their power to roll back Yasuke's role, at least in promotional materials. They're trying to roll back how much his face is displayed. I mean, we saw the examples of some of the promotional materials where he's just straight up not in the shot at all. And they're focusing more on the co-protagonist, Naoe, which I guess would make more sense because she's an actual assassin, but I digress here. We can see there's a lot of efforts to try to downplay Yasuke's role, and they're trying to save face with gamers, but in particular, Japanese gamers who are very, very tired of what Ubisoft has been doing with this game, and Japanese history, for that matter. Now, there's some other things they've been doing to roll back the awful decisions they've made. As some people have pointed out, the description of the game has been changed in Japan. You can see the Western version describes Yasuke as a legendary samurai. They're still going with this samurai approach here. They're still going on these false claims thanks to Thomas Lockley, their number one source, their Wikipedia vandalizer himself. But then when you look at the actual Japanese version, they use a term that is similar to warrior worth 1,000, just saying he's a very strong warrior. So clearly they're trying to do some sort of damage control here and trying to basically slip this one past Japanese gamers. But the hypocrisy here and the inconsistency has been pointed out. It just makes Ubisoft look worse. I mean, at this point, if you're going to mess around with Japanese history, at least stand firm in it, right? Instead of flip-flopping and trying to deceive some potential gamers versus others based on the region they're in, it's all a bunch of nonsense. But things continue to get even crazier. This account right here is a blast, okay? Assassin's Creed News. Imagine, without even a blue check mark. I mean, they're doing this for the love of the game, not even for ad revenue. They are that dedicated to Assassin's Creed Shadows that they're working for the company for free. But this right here would get a lot of attention. 3.5 million views. Unfortunately, they're trying to promote this game, but it's not going the way they had intended because people are making fun of this screenshot because as you can see, the sword goes right through the helm. The clipping is absolutely embarrassing. This is a AAA studio releasing garbage like this, and as you can see, work in progress. Yeah, no kidding, right? But there would be a lot of reaction to this because that's not the only thing going on in this shot. As people point out, there seems to be some inconsistencies. Watermelons and cherry blossoms existing at the same time, which as pointed out by this user, doesn't really make sense because they are not generally something that happens at the same time, even in modern Japan. Now they would go down here and they would add this part right here saying, is go crying really an appropriate response? Now they're referring to the main account here, this Assassin's Creed news profile we've been talking about where they say go crying. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But also people are ragging on this because again, it's like a very unfortunate misstep that has to be unintentional. I can't believe they would do this intentionally. That would be too much. But of course, people are making jokes about, obviously you have a black samurai, then you have watermelons. And people are saying this is a racist act by Ubisoft. And again, I don't think this was intentional. I just think they're really stupid. And once again, they're looking bad. Some people really do believe this stuff is getting intentional because there's just that many mistakes. But anyways, this whole go crying thing, right? So we have this account, as we've been saying, the Assassin's Creed news page right here, really dedicating all of their time to propping up this game. And unfortunately, as this user points out, they are very hostile. Every time someone says something negatively about Assassin's Creed Shadows, whether it's on their tweets or other random tweets, they reply by saying, go crying, which is hilarious. As you can see, they do this all day and night. I mean, these tweets, by the way, that's several per minute. It just never ends. Very strange. Imagine like bootlicking Ubisoft this hard. I can't even imagine. But there was more here. This user would also quote the previous one, pointing out the inconsistency, saying, after Shadows, Assassin's Creed should never return to Japan. I've seen levels of nitpicking I've never seen before, and it's only for Japan. That's exactly what we want. Yeah, stay away from Japan. Yeah, keep Assassin's Creed out of Japan because clearly they don't know what they're doing, and they've made an absolute mockery of Japanese culture and Japanese history as well. Yes, I think people would be very okay with these terms here. The terms are very agreeable. But anyways, people would point out this particular user because they also said this. So this user says, it's clear you're here for the hate, not the discussion, where that previous user said this. Here's a gif of Yasuke kicking the F out of a Japanese NPC. I love it. That's not a great look. Yeah, not the greatest look ever. It just seems like you're getting some sort of a kick out of Yasuke beating up a bunch of Japanese people in a game. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe don't take this stuff too seriously. But anyways, speaking of what you can or can't beat in this game, as you can see, pointed out here, a Japanese illustrator said that watching Yasuke's gameplay in the newly revealed Assassin's Creed Shadows, there was one part that really stood out to me as a problem. Wouldn't it make sense to prevent players from destroying religious sites? I mean, it's an actual shrine. And in this clip, Yasuke, obviously being piloted by this character, is going around destroying shrines and damaging them and doing all this stuff, which is odd because, again, you wouldn't really think you'd be able to do that in the first place. But it's odd that you're allowed to do stuff like this, but then you're not allowed to do stuff like this. As pointed out and translated from Japanese, it is impossible to attack Portuguese merchants. As you can see, you can't actually attack these Portuguese merchants in the game. Your weapon just goes right through them. It's very weird how you can attack one thing, the shrines, but not these Portuguese merchants. Very strange stuff, and at the very least, another example of bugs in this game. And we're counting down. It's just over a month until release. There's no reason for stuff like this to continue existing. Also on top of that, we're seeing another legend, another very stunning and brave character being fully introduced to us. So I've seen a lot of this screenshots of this character. You might have as well. This big Chungus here. Turns out this is a real character in the game and something they're really pushing. So as this tweet says, people think the female sumo in Assassin's Creed Shadows is a joke, but it's real. they added a female sumo who kicks and pulverizes Japanese chuds. Worse, in the Azuchi Momoyama period, Rikishi meant man of strength. With such a rich history, they chose this to mock Japan. You see the description right here matching up with what was said in the tweet. Yeah, this is a very interesting hill to die on. Forced representation that doesn't even make sense historically or even with the concepts that they're using to describe this character. Just a very, very weird, stunning and brave, I know, but a bit of a strange choice, to say the least. But there's one other thing I want to talk about here. This individual, a Japanese YouTuber named Shohei. So Shohei's been having a bit of a go here because it appears that YouTube was cracking down on his content. He was actually hit with a strike against one of his videos. It was taken down. And as you can see, it is back up now. Just as you can see right here, how Asian hate is often dismissed. Japanese reacts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. This video was taken down for hateful conduct because apparently criticizing Ubisoft, especially as a Japanese person whose culture and history is being mocked in this game, is too far for YouTube. As you can see here, he got a bunch of emails showing that his content was removed, and his content was also removed on appeal as well. The appeal was upheld, and he had his video completely nuked. Now, he would also go out and get a lot of attention on the situation, which is great. A lot of people reacted and shared and signal boosted his situation. I believe even Asmongold reacted to a related video on this. So that was very good because it resulted in the video being restored, which is great. That's the result we're all looking for. But at the same time, the fact that it takes all of that to get a video that was clearly removed falsely back up, it shouldn't come that far. Like, I've done it with my own channel when I've had issues. I've had to go to Twitter, of all places, and basically beg Team YouTube on Twitter, please do something. And typically, unless you're getting like thousands of likes and a lot of attention, that's the only way you're going to get any sort of response. It's very strange how YouTube works. But let's watch his video recapping what happened here, and let's listen to a little bit of what he has to say about the situation right now.
I still don't know what happened. It's happened at least 12 times. And I spent whole day keeping an eye on the video. Every time video was taken down, I submit appeal. And the YouTube accept appeal. And then taken down again. I really don't know what's going on. And I really appreciate YouTube to fix that issue. I really appreciate it. You can easily find any Japanese channel talking about this topic, and then you can easily tell majority of us, we really not happy about this game, and we are really feel ignored, dismissed.
Really? All the journalists told me that Japanese people love Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's so strange. I can't believe it. Yeah, he's right, obviously. I'll put a link to this in the description if you want to check out this video as well as his channel. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to see so many people, including Japanese gamers, come out and say, I have an issue with you, Ubisoft, and it just falls on deaf ears. This continues to happen over and over again. It's exhausting to see, and really, again, pretty much Ubisoft has burned down every bridge. I mean, who would want to continue supporting a company like that, especially if you're from Japan, after what they did with Shadows? I mean, it's a joke. But there's one more thing I want to quickly show you. Trust the journalists, ladies and gentlemen. As pointed out here, Morgan Park, a game journalist for PC Gamer, is trying to tell you how good Assassin's Creed Shadows is. So this is the headline from PC Gamer. I played 6 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and folks, I think this one was worth the wait. Interesting title because they've said this before. Uh-oh, I played 7 hours of Concord this weekend and immediately want back in. Oh, geez. Here's another one. After playing 5 hours of exploring the galaxy and ghosting past stormtroopers, Star Wars Outlaws is finally winning me over. Oh, geez. Here's another one. 8 hours in, Suicide Squad doesn't seem like the disaster some were waiting for. Yeah, you can definitely trust this journalist right here when they say Assassin's Creed Shadows is good based on 6 hours of gameplay, because they have such a sterling record when it comes to the reviews of Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Absolutely phenomenal work from PC Gamer, as we expect at this point. But that's going to do it for this video. Obviously, a lot going on with Ubisoft, and it definitely won't be the end of the issues for them. Again, Assassin's Creed Shadow has to be a home run for them, and I don't think it's going to be quite the revenue generator they're praying for. But as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.